Good afternoon, everyone. I am here. I have a special treat for you guys. Anyone who's in like the real estate world, this is the podcast for you today. I have Miss Dorothy Botsoe from Dorothy Jensen Realty Incorporated and Weichert Realtors Signature Properties in Mount Kisco, New York. Miss Dorothy, welcome to Coffee with Cher.
Thank you. Cheers to that. That's
Cheers to
fantastic.
that. Cheers, cheers,
Absolutely.
cheers.
Cheers. I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you. I know you were super busy, so thank you for giving some time to all of the entrepreneurs and letting them know about your journey and how they can up their game. So let's get started. So tell me about your companies and how you got started. Tell us a little bit about actually both. I want to know about Dorothy Jensen and Weichert as well.
Awesome. No, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. I have been in business. Dorothy Jensen Realty has been in business since 1989. It's been around. Wow. It's an independent company, and I own it 100%. I've had agents. We were located in Hartsdale for many years. Then we moved into the White Plains market, and Dorothy Jensen Realty handles both residential sales and leasing, and of course, investment properties and foreclosure properties, which most people know as REOs. Mm-hmm. So that company is still around. Weichert Realtor Signature Properties, I decided to venture this way because I wanted to get a refresh in the market, and Mount Kisco is just perfect. Mm-hmm. It was perfect. I love the community. It is idyllic. It is one of the places that I want to live in, and putting my company here and making a commitment to get involved in the community was just one of my basic tenets with anything I do. So Weichert Realtors is brand new. It's about a year old. Why Weichert? I selected Weichert because I looked at all the other companies, and it is still an independently owned family company. So it kept up with the independence. I also felt that as a franchisee of the brand, which has been around for a very long time, it would allow me to be able to position myself differently. So it's sort of having a brand new baby. So we're taking baby steps, getting to know the community, investing in the community, time and money, but letting people know within the community that we're here to be of service. So it's not about making money right away. It's more about, I want to be invested in this community. And once you see what we're about, the business will come. We will work at it, but it is not a primary focus right now. So we want to make money. We always will, but people have to get to know us first. So if you go into a business with the mindset of just making money, I believe you'll fail. If you don't commitment to be in the community you want to serve. So that is always service first, and everything else comes up. God does this thing. He blesses if you put it out there. So I'm happy to be able to do that.
Oh, that's amazing. And that little bit of tidbit that you gave us is why you've been around so long. It's about those relationships. It's about those partnerships. It's about that community. And Mount Kisco is a great community. I had my business in Mount Kisco for many years, and great community, great mayor. Hey, Mayor Gina. It's a great town / village, because it's both of those. Yes, so I'm sure you are enjoying being in Kisco. It's a fun place.
Loving it.
Tell me about just the fact that you've been in business for so long. Tell me really how you set yourself apart from your competition. I mean, realtors, people say, oh, every agency is different and every vibe is different. But I mean, in knowing you personally, I know your commitment to giving back and really uplifting young women of color, especially. So I love that. But tell me about just some of the things that really set you apart from your competition.
I believe what sets me apart is, within real estate, being that you are an independent contractor, you're responsible for yourself. I got into the business in the 80s because I had a realtor, or actually several realtors, who did not want to show me property. And when they did not provide equal service. So where I'm concerned is, you're willing to treat somebody this way and not treat me the same. So I was a little annoyed, and most people who know me, I'm pretty vocal. I will come after what I need. So I felt that in order to be able to challenge the status quo, which is a fight, I have to be in the trenches. You don't get to stand on the sidelines and complain. Get in the business and fight for it and make sure people know it. That's a reputation I have. I will let you know, you're wasting my time, you're not, but ultimately we're going to get there to do our business. Somebody introduced me, one of my agents introduced me to a company that does a lot of work for young ladies, women of color. And, that for me was an opportunity to educate. I've also had first-time homebuyer seminars focused at the Slater Center in White Plains. We've had some events and we've worked with people that I know. My accountant's very involved with the African-American men of Westchester also. So it's been very challenging in terms of being able to go out there, because when somebody wants to do business with an agent in real estate, your reputation precedes you. But because it's fully dominated by a lot of people who are not persons of color, the white community, you're being compared to that community. And I thank God my longevity has been because I don't change. I'm pretty much outspoken. I'm very honest and direct in my communications. And I let you know what the expectations are. If I can't do it, I'll say yeah. If I can't, I'll say no. And that has created a reputation of being pretty upstanding and very direct. I also teach several courses to realtors, and a lot of my courses are focused on the ethics of the industry, fair housing laws, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and just really making sure that we are inclusive in our practices. And real estate can be very, very individual, where it's all about me. I'm number one, look at me. Or we can come together and really try to focus on what's the best thing for the consumer that I'm working with, whether it's a buyer or a seller. So if you do your job well, but you're educated about it, you will show up in the right space. So it's all about the consumer, and also how you deal professionally and ethically within the real estate community with other agents. So it's a bit of a balance, but it's a lot of fun, because if you do it right, that bad.
Love it, love it, love it. And it also makes me think about, how they say, if you're not invited to the table, kind of build your own table. And I feel like that's kind of like what you did, I love that.
Absolutely. You have to be, I was reading, I do a lot of training, a lot of leadership training, and a lot of growth, personal growth. And most of my trainers are not within the real estate community. Why? Because I think there are a lot of really, really good trainers, but they're all feeding me out of the same box. When I hired somebody, a business coach, it was to have my personal growth, but also to be able to have a discussion outside the box, diversity of thought, bringing somebody else to my table who didn't think like me, who acted differently, but was very successful in their business coaching and practice. So absolutely. I read one of the books by John Maxwell. He's a leadership coach and trainer. And yet last night I was reading it. If you're not at the table, you are the meal. You know how funny that was? Like, look at that. You laugh. Isn't that great? If you are not at the table, you are the meal. I don't want to be the meal for anybody. I want to be at that table. I want to be talking. I want to be all in. And
that's awesome.
All means is that, when I'm sitting at that table, my voice is heard. My opinions are considered. I'm able to articulate my position, support it, and bring some solutions forth. We always feel the challenge of, I don't want to be ostracized. I don't want to say something that people are, I don't want to be the only one out there. It's okay to be the lone voice, because then, even if they're not agreeing with you at this point in time, it's going to come in later. They're going to have to think about it and say, well, what Dorothy said wasn't that bad. I just didn't like the way she said it. It's okay. At least you're being heard. Again, that statement stuck with me. I don't want to be at a meal. I want to be at that table. What do I need to get there? How will I get there? And who do I need to bring in, in my circle that's going to lift me up? I have eliminated a lot of people from my life because you're not helping me. And
Yeah.
help doesn't mean you're giving me money or anything. You have to be willing to be able to say, Dorothy, you can't do that. Dorothy, that's wrong. We should try that way. You're not just yes, yes, yes. You don't want people like that around you.
Yeah.
People around you, hopefully smarter than you, but also willing to share their knowledge with you without fear that you're not going to do the right thing with that information. I ask a lot of questions. Don't be shy. Ask the questions, get the answers, and then weed through it. We're not all the same. I may be a real estate agent among a sea of in Westchester. We have what? In the Lower Hudson, we have a little over 13,000 members. I'm very different. They know who I am. I have made a mark. I will be happy to teach. I'm happy to mentor. I teach a lot of classes, but I'm available to any of our membership. And I do a lot of hearing complaints. I get a lot of reports. People feel free to talk to me because they know I'm going to go to battle for us. It's about our membership. But I think that the fear within the Black and Brown community is being ostracized. It's not being heard. It's not being accepted. And I have made a point of saying, I don't care. It's enough. We need to show up. We need to show up, but the people who are showing up with us have to be supportive. I can't have a Black person tearing me down. I can't have a brown person tearing me down. If you disagree, let's do it behind closed doors. When we step outside, it's a united front. We're missing a lot of that. And that's why we are missing that. And that leaves us wide open to be that meal on the table I don't want to be. They definitely know they can't eat me up. I will come for you, but working in collaboration with everybody gets the job done.
Love it, love it, love it. So what's new? Anything new happening? We're now kind of making that turn for end of this year, getting ready to bounce into 2023. Anything new, exciting you want to share?
Well, we Weichert Realtors right here in Mount Kisco. We are excited because we are also part of the Mount Kisco Chamber of Commerce, and they've been very, very receptive, very welcoming. We love that. But what we are planning to do is, I had given myself about 12 to 18 months to settle into the community, let people know who we are, and start coming to the front. So we are hiring new and seasoned agents. We are actually talking to a few people. I'm not trying to be a huge office. We just want to get good quality people who are working to have that work-life balance. Of course, faith is at the top of the table here. We can't do much without it. But work-life balance, making sure that office has a family feel. So, I mean, we're just trying to recruit or get agents on board who are new. Also, the commitment and the focus for next year is to be more involved in the different communities where my agents live in. I have an agent who lives in Mahopac. We have in the Bronx, Mount Vernon, Yonkers, White Plains, Valhalla. We just want to be present in the different communities so I can be supportive to my agents and also make sure that people know we are accessible. We have some first-time home buyer seminars coming up, which we'll let you know about.
Yeah, definitely let me know so we could share those.
In the town of Greenberg, we also have stuff coming up in White Plains and in Valhalla, and we are setting up a few in Mount Kisco area also. So we want to educate. I have some partnerships coming up with some churches where we will be doing some education to the congregation about saving your money and then being able to at least invest in your first home or something. But we all have to start somewhere, because I think the financial education is lacking. We don't want to ask questions because we don't want to be considered stupid. We are embarrassed if we say we don't know. We need to get over that. Ask the question so that we can guide you to the best possible program. And also, if you're working with somebody, don't just assume because I was referred to you, I'm a good agent. Check me out. Make sure I'm doing my job. So you interview me too and see what I bring to the table, because we're all not the same. You want some integrity, and that is our core value for our company: integrity, service, and love. we want to make sure that we provide the best. So we try not to, but we have a lot going on next year, but we're excited. So
that's good. That's good. Once you firm up kind of those your first time home buyers, I have to connect you with Barbara Edwards. She's the chair for the Westchester County African American Advisory Board. I used to serve on that board for many years, and there's a housing committee that I used to chair, and they would love to kind of share that information with their network. So I'll make sure that I connect you with Barbara, once you have all of that firmed up. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. We would really appreciate it. Again, it's all about educating, because we can't do much if we're not educated a little bit about it and then build them out. So
yeah, for sure. Yeah. And we know first, homes, that definitely is the way, your first home, that's that wealth building, generational wealth. That's the start of it. So we know that. All right. So I want to end this with some advice. I feel like you've dropped a ton of nuggets throughout throughout our talk, but give me some advice to someone who might be new, thinking about starting a business, or maybe someone who already has a business and really having a rough time. What kind of advice could you share for them?
Well, in real estate, that we don't have, goods to sell. So, and I'll stay within this area, because when I started out, I was terrified because I had to start with not knowing anybody, maybe having a few contacts, but how was I going to get myself out there as inexpensively as possible? I reached out to my accountant, my dry cleaners. I put magnets on my car advertising my name, number, and the company. Those are like $30 for two. I also, again, I have a t-shirt that is branded with my name. That was about $30. I have a few. So inexpensive stuff, you can get it done, but then don't rush to get into a lease. Don't go rent a space right away. If it's something that you can start from home, do that. Do that in your garage, your basement. If you don't have any of those, your dining room table. Start inexpensively, because if you get into this being like the next person, or you got to be bigger, you will get into debt. We don't want to do that. Once you've gotten at least some name recognition, you've gone around, and inexpensively, I also used to sponsor soccer teams, because that was my love. Soccer is big. This is World Cup year. Yay. So I sponsored a lot of teams in the White Plains youth soccer arena for the rec department, where your water bottles were inexpensive, towels, head towels during the summer. So, it was something that I sponsored a lot. It was inexpensive, a couple of $100. That worked. Once you get to a point where you're comfortable, join the networks. Join the networks where you can create relationships. It's about the relationship. Somebody saying, oh, I know Cherie, she's fantastic, great event planner. Give her a call. That's how I got your name. Darcel Dillard Sweet. I've known her for years.
I love Darcel.
Several properties. She is my therapist. She's my girl. Her husband, I've known them for years. But when I need somebody, I reach out. I reach out to the circle I have, and they're amazing. Established or not, if you're starting out, your circle of influence, the people that know you best, the people who can be truthful and honest with you. If you have children, they'll say, Ma, you suck. That was bad. They do that. They're the most honest truth sayers ever out there.
Mm-hmm.
You have a very good friend, they can help you. Role play with them. How are you making this representation? How are you selling yourself? Do you have that elevator speech? 30 seconds, a minute, whatever it is that captures your essence. But most importantly, be yourself. Be yourself, because when you are being inauthentic, it comes through. Be yourself. And if you can't do that, don't start anything, because then we know it's all about the money. You don't care about the people that you're trying to help. So be yourself, be honest, and do it with a lot of fun, and it will grow. Don't be in a rush. It takes time.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you, Dorothy. So this was amazing. Where can everybody find you? Give us your contact. Your phone number is right there on the screen. So that's awesome.
Yes. That my mobile number, if we need, that will be 914 3590368. My email address is on there. It's Dorothy at Weichert Signature Properties or info@. But my mobile number is actually the best place to get to me, which would be the 914-359-0368 number. And I'm easily available to help. And if you need advice, some support, need me to get involved in a charity or an organization that makes sense, that's helpful to the community, I'm all in.
Awesome. Well, this was such a great time. I had a really great time, Dorothy, with you. I know that our listeners are going to love this podcast. So thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Sharice Shervis-Hill here from Events to Remember, NPR to Remember, with our Coffee with Cher session. Thank you, Dorothy. Much gratitude.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we will see you soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Take care.